Hello, and welcome back to This Could Be a Podcast.
Hello.
Here we are, 15 episodes later, and we're at the season 1 finale.
It's Christmas.
Insert cheering sound. You're probably hearing some cheering sound effects. I mean, no, there's really a crowd here. We have a live studio audience.
Hi.
Hello, friends.
Guys, be quiet. Oh, shit.
Careful. Careful now, Wolfson.
Careful. It's also a Christmas episode.
Yes, this is our Christmas episode and our kind of like year wrap-up episode. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a combination of the two. It's going to be an interesting one. We're going to be talking about our Christmas plans, New Year's plans, how the year went, Christmas traditions, the whole thing. So thank you for joining us and for joining us throughout the whole season.
Yes, but we will be back.
Yes, we're going to come back. This isn't the end. In fact, for you, it'll probably only be like a 1 week break.
It'll be a week.
No,
2 week.
Yeah, it'll be true. It'll be a 2 week break for you guys before you see us again. Which is weird because usually at the end of the episode we say we'll see you next week, but I guess we're not going to see you next week this time.
We won't.
It's going to be really weird because this has kind of become like a ritual, honestly.
Yeah.
So it's pretty funny that we're going to miss at least I think one episode, two episodes, yeah.
2 weeks,
true.
two
Right.
episodes.
So yeah, but again, we're going to be back early January with some new content and hopefully with some fresh upgrades to the studio and the quality.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I guess the first thing to talk about is to reflect on this year, both, the year itself and the podcast maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So take it away, Hobson. What are your thoughts?
I mean, so it's no secret that 2020 has just been a bit shit for everyone. I think that's very fair to say, especially with the pandemic, and even without the pandemic, it was a pretty rough year for a lot of people in general. But definitely the pandemic's made it quite difficult. But even without it, I had a pretty rough year in general anyway, with going through a breakup, doing my my thesis, which was difficult as it was. But I mean, I did it as well. I feel like everything that was bad also had a good side to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I would agree. I mean, 2020 really was kind of, as you said, it was a fucked year. I mean, there's no nice way of putting it. There were very few redeeming qualities to 2020. Except maybe being able to chill at home.
Start a podcast,
but is that because of 2020? Not necessarily.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people got involved in a lot of projects because of it,
That's
which
true.
is a really positive side of the pandemic.
But I mean, I wonder if we would have started a podcast anyways. I think so, because we were just talking over Instagram after I came back from Greece. So I don't think, I think the podcast would have started regardless.
I think so too.
I don't think necessarily it wouldn't have started, but I mean, I get it did facilitate it though.
Yeah, because the reason it started was, I don't know if we've ever told how it started exactly, but basically I shared a podcast on my Instagram story and Peter responded saying, "Oh, that's sick. I thought this was your podcast at first." And I said, "No, I wish." And then you were like, "Oh shit, I want to start one too or something." And then I was like, let's fucking do it. What's stopping us?
And it was kind of like a meme at first. It was kind of just like a joke. And then suddenly it was like, oh, we're both actually serious about this. It was kind of funny trying to find out whether or not we were joking or if we were serious. But yeah, and then we did it. How long did it take before we actually recorded?
I think remember. It took us... When did you get back from Greece?
Well, because I think August, something like...
Late August,
It was August, July, something along those lines. Actually, no, I reckon it might have been early July, actually. Sorry, late July.
I think it was because Sabina got back from Norway and then we all came over.
Yeah, because I remember...
And we asked you about Greece.
Yeah, precisely. And then after we recorded the first episode, there was a 2 week break, because remember at first this was going to be a 2 week thing. It was supposed to be every 2 weeks. That's bi-weekly, right? Or is bi-weekly twice a week?
It's both. It's very strange.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's kind of confusing.
Because the English language, it can bi-weekly can either be twice a week or every other week.
Yeah. Okay, that's fucking weird. Anyways, it was supposed to be once every 2 weeks, and yeah, I don't know. We did one episode, and we both really loved it. We just wanted to do more, like right away. And of course, you know, if you've heard the first episode, it's a bit all over the place. It's a little
Even
bit.
the last episode, like, it just shows that we're still growing. You know?
No, definitely, 100%. But yeah, the first episode was definitely an experience.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked so much about the first episode, but and the podcast in general. I feel like we never stop talking about the podcast on the podcast.
Never gonna stop, baby.
But it is our life right now because of the pandemic. We haven't
true.
really done anything else. It's not like, I mean, you were very fortunate to even get out of the country this summer.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, like, it really was, I guess, yeah, continuing with the theme of the episode, it really was kind of something of a blessing, because it's like, we happened to have a holiday at that time. I had just about finished my thesis, I think, a month-ish before that, or like a couple weeks. Or maybe even that month. I can't remember anymore. And yeah, it happened to be the case that Greece at that time, or at least the Greek islands, were rated to be like safe to travel to.
I was gonna go. Did I tell you that?
No.
I was like, obviously rough start to the year, and I was like, I'm gonna go traveling on my own because I don't need anyone else by my side. And I almost bought tickets to Greece, and then I like chickened out because I was like, I've never traveled on my own, like gone on holiday on my own. Like, I've traveled on my own, but gone on holiday on my own, it's like something I've never done. And I'm like, I don't know if I'd enjoy myself if I just went alone.
I mean, I don't know. I think it depends on why you're traveling. You know, where you're traveling, why you're traveling, and what you kind of want to do. Because I could imagine it going either way, really. Because I bet you'd have some moments where you really wish you had someone there with you, you know, to experience it with. So I don't know. I think it depends.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we really were lucky, I think, with Greece, and it was a really great holiday too. And little did we know how fucked things would get after that. Because we thought that was kind of the end.
Yeah, we did.
You know, like,
because everything opened up again. All the shops here opened.
It seemed at that stage, especially here in the Netherlands, that things were just going to start to kind of go back to normal, really. But
and they spoke about the second wave. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
they were like, oh, it's going to come. But it's like double as worse. It's twice as worse. Double as worse. Twice as worse. Is that even correct?
Twice as bad.
Twice as bad. Jeez, my English.
Twice as worse.
English is my first and only language, and every day I just can't speak this year. I'm so sorry. But yeah, and it's twice as bad as it was the first time round, the pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, I think even in NL, it was almost like 3 times as bad. Like when second wave hit, I mean, shit got fucked here real fast.
Yeah, I mean, right now, so for Christmas, we're only allowed 2-3 guests per household.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's like 2 guests, something like that.
And so in my house, there's four of us. There's 2 of us home at the moment, but that's 3 guests per household. So it's like, well, one of us can have 2 friends and the other one can have 1 friend. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. But there are places, I know in England, at least in Huddersfield, you can't like meet any household. You have to stay at home. Like, you can't at all. Like, you're at least in certain tiers, because they break it down in tiers. But in Huddersfield in the north, it's you can't meet other people at all.
I think that's probably the case in London as well right now.
Probably, yeah.
Because of a new mutation, which is also, you know, something that happened.
Terrifying. Oh, I just got goosebumps thinking about it.
That's going to be... Well, I mean, like, they do say so far that it's reacting the same to the vaccine and stuff like that. So I mean, that one is okay, but let's hope that there isn't some really fucked mutation that comes out somewhere else or, you know, like comes up at some point. That would be really bad. Fuck.
Yeah, it's so funny. So usually for mine and my siblings' birthdays, we all go out and get like a beer or something at a pub. But so my brother's birthday is 30th of April. And obviously we were in full lockdown then still. So we were like, ha, it's okay. We'll just do it for mine and Beth's birthday. Because mine's in November, Beth's is in December. So we were like, oh, it'll be fine by then. Little did we know, second frickin' lockdown. And think it's worse than the first lockdown. No?
Yeah, well, I mean, like now we've kind of entered the third wave because it actually went down again for a while as well. You remember that? For a while, it seemed like things were about to go back to normal, and then here we are.
Womp womp.
But now it's a lot worse than it ever was, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now everything's fucking closed.
You can't, if you're on the street, you can only be with one other person. You can't be with like more than 2 people.
Like literally right now, it is like banned to go to any store that's not like an essential store, like a grocery store or something like that. Interestingly enough, coffee shops are still open.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that essential?
Well, the thing is,
so
coffee shops, for those in America, it's not like a cafe. It's a weed shop. And so with the first lockdown, when they announced that everything was going to close, the queues outside the weed shops were astronomical.
Yeah,
they were so long,
terrified, dude.
Going like halfway down the street. Like, it was insane. Like, and then the queues for the supermarkets, they weren't that bad, especially for alcohol. Like, people just cared about getting weed, which I think says a lot about this country.
Yeah. Well, I think...
I mean, guess, it is the Netherlands that's kind of known for weed as well.
I mean, I guess after the first lockdown, they realized that it was kind of a risk to have that many people waiting outside, like, you know, for a weed shop. So, but people did it anyways, though, by the way. I did see like quite a few lines forming on like D-Day, on like the last day of like, you know, before the lockdown. So I did see it happen as well. But I can't remember. Before that, they had already closed restaurants, right?
Yeah.
Like restaurants and
stuff
were already
haven't
closed.
Opened up at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's so bad. Fuck.
Imagine, I feel so bad for all the like independent businesses and the small businesses. That's why you should stop supporting Amazon. Like, shop locally. It's helping so many families put children in university, in school, get them clothes, get them presents for Christmas. Meanwhile, Jeff Bezos is living his life.
But the thing is, it's kind of rough though, because you can't, like, it's kind of hard to order now because everything is closed. It's kind of hard to support small businesses because you can't really order from them, you know.
Like, a lot of them do have online shops, but they take longer with postage. But I mean, you're stuck inside anyway. What do you need anything for, really? Really desperately?
We needed a battery.
We did. So actually, do you want to tell the story?
Yeah, so I guess it's kind of a spoiler for next season, I suppose. But we got a new camera. Well, I got a new camera for Christmas for my mom. But my mom lives in Malaysia, obviously. So she sent it here via DHL. But DHL wouldn't let her put batteries, like they wouldn't let her take the batteries of the camera with. So she sent the camera, but there's no batteries. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna order, you know, once the thing's been sent, so that batteries come on by the time the podcast starts, like for our filming day. But turns out it didn't arrive on time. So now we're sitting here with a brand new camera, like in a box, like like 5 meters away. Well. It's a really nice new camera, and there's no batteries for it.
No battery.
It's a disaster. So yeah, I guess next season, next season you will be seeing that. So definitely tune into the YouTube next season.
Yeah, absolutely. We're putting money into this and goods and stuff. Yeah. So it's always helpful to get some support. Also, sharing our podcasts on Instagram is really helpful in any way you like.
Or Facebook or whatever, really.
Yeah. But I mean, what are your plans for Christmas? Because your girlfriend, Nicole, has just moved to London for the next God knows how long. Yeah. She is coming back, by the way. She's coming back.
Well, I mean, Nicole's been on the podcast before, so I'm sure.
She has, yeah.
I'm sure some of our listeners will be familiar with her. But she moved to London for 8 months, at least, maybe longer. She said she might do a minor there afterwards as well, so could even be longer than that, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see how that works out. So yeah, it kind of threw a hammer into the Christmas plans, but she had to go because the Netherlands is going into lockdown. So if she didn't go, she would miss her internship. So it's kind of and for her it was really important, so she had to go. But so what we're doing instead is I'm going to be celebrating at a at her parents' place is the plan that we finally settled on. I've been going back and forth between what I'm actually going to do. I think I'm going to celebrate at her parents' place, and we're just going to call my mom and call her, and then we'll have like a big group big group Christmas kind of thing. That's the idea. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do for New Year's yet, though. I think I want to celebrate that with friends, but then again, at the same time, I don't really know how the lockdown thing's going to work with that. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. I mean, you're more than welcome, Peter.
I thank you. It's on camera now. You can't take it back.
No, why? As if, like, imagine I say on the podcast, I'm like, yeah, you're more than welcome. We cut. And then I'm like, by the way, Peter, actually, you can't.
What if we have, like, a terrible fight or whatever? Like, a huge falling out
over
the net?
What would we ever argue about? Like,
I don't know.
Literally what?
I don't know. It's like we want to fucking kill each other, and I still show up like, you offered.
It's on the podcast. You have
and what about you, Hobson? What's your plan?
So I'm following the rule of having 3 guests per household, of course, as you should do the same at home. Follow the rules because we all want to get out of this pandemic as quickly as possible. And so I'm having my sister and her boyfriend and my friend Sabina over. And we're also going to celebrate with my roommate, so it is keeping to the rules. So it's just going to be the 5 of us, and to make it more festive, because obviously we would prefer to go out and go drinking and stuff for Christmas, but unfortunately they're shut, and that's okay, so we're going to be stuck at home anyway. So Dan and I yesterday spent like hours and hours handcrafting decorations, and we decked the halls.
What's the line in the song? How does that go?
Deck the halls with boughs of holly. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, you know, because people are like, "Oh, Christmas is ruined. I can't see my family." Well, first of all, you can like video chat them. That's okay.
The internet, baby.
Also, you're not going to be unless you are completely alone. I'm sure there's going to be very few people that are alone.
That have like no friends or family at all. Like someone will offer. And if they don't, just, show up.
There are more ways than just going out and... I feel like most Christmases people spend inside their homes anyway with family.
For me, definitely. Like, that's how I always did it. Like, I would just spend it with my mom and my brother, usually.
I think it is weird that this is the first Christmas ever that I'm not spending it with my parents.
Oh, me too.
And I'm like, it feels kind of weird. But also it means I can drink without anyone judging me. Not that they judge me, but it means I can get sloshed.
Yeah. For me, it's also the first one where I'm not with any family at all. That's so fucking weird.
That's really strange.
Like, in person, I'm just going to be with Nicole's family, which is the weirdest thing ever. Before this, I'm literally never spent a Christmas without some kind of relative. So that's going to be really interesting. I don't know how that's going to go. It's going to be really weird, honestly.
And New Year's, I think, is the same. It's going to be 3 of my friends, same. I mean, Beth and Jack are coming as well, and then one other person. I think it'll be Sabina as well anyway, but those New Year's plans haven't really solidified themselves yet. I think for New Year's, this will also be my first year without being with family. I'm not sure. I've got to think about that, actually. I think I've spent I've spent a couple New Years without my parents now. But my parents never really do much. It's kind of like we sit, like, I think the last New Year's I spent with my parents before last year, because they did come here and visit, and so we, had the whole New Year's celebration with the countdown and stuff. But the year before, I'd come back from, I think, Gran Canaria, and I had my I know you're shrugging. Like, I wasn't really clarifying with you, but thanks for your input. And I'd come home and I was celebrating with my boyfriend, and so I wasn't with my parents anyway. But usually my parents we just kind of sit at home and then watch the countdown and go, right, I guess we're going to bed then. Because neither of my parents really drink anymore. Due to just different reasons. They're just not as into it anymore. They're older. They don't drink as much.
Yeah. I'm worried for that day when I'll no longer feel interested in having a beer or whatever, I worry for that day.
I mean,
That's when you've gotten old.
Yeah, but this is my parents' first Christmas without having kids in years.
Yeah.
My
That's
mum,
gotta be weird.
My mum has. I don't think she's ever spent a Christmas without her kids. I mean, other than like with her family when she was younger. Like, this is her first Christmas without any kids, and it's just her and my dad. Isn't that weird?
No, that's definitely fucking weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure it's the same for my dad as well, by the way.
I mean, like last year was closer to spending. No, but that's not even true. Because last year my mom was like sick on New Year's Day.
Oh,
Like
it's always the way, isn't it?
she was so sick. Like we were in New York and everything, and she just could not be there for
Was
like.
that last year?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wow, fuck, was that a year ago?
That feels longer.
Oh my, no, for me that feels way shorter.
Oh, whoa.
Dude, 2020. What a fucking weird year, dude.
Yeah. I mean, we're still very privileged in the sense that neither of us know anyone who has passed away from COVID, and no one's lost their homes and stuff, which is very common for a lot of people. They've lost jobs, homes, family members, which is so tragic. And I really hope, if you're listening, if that's happened to you, I hope 2021 brings you all the love in the world. And I hope you can find some positivity in 2020, regardless of, what happened. Yeah. But I think
everybody's hoping for that.
I'm really excited for 2021. I'm feeling very optimistic.
Yeah.
I know COVID isn't going to just like go away in no time, but I think once everything opens up again, I think everyone will be a lot more appreciative of what they have, which is very exciting.
Do you like I don't know. For me, like New Year is always kind of a time of like optimism. Like right before New Year, I'm like, man, this year's gonna be great. I don't know. I think for me, one of the weirdest times of the year is like 1st of January, 2nd of January.
I
when
feel
it's
so
just
weird.
changed over.
Yeah.
But okay, this is perhaps a bit out of the way, but it kind of reminds me of media studies a little bit, because you remember like how we learned about like transitional spaces and stuff like that, and how if you're in like a hallway or something, it feels weird because you're not supposed to spend
not
time
like,
there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that a little bit.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah, but even I was saying before we started recording, the odd time between Christmas and New Year.
Yeah, that's another one.
It's like time doesn't exist. Everyone's eating leftovers, enjoying their presents, and no one's working. Everyone's just kind of like, the fuck is going on? And then New Year's happens, and as soon as it's January 1st and everyone's hungover or back to work like within the next few days, it's like, oh yeah, here we are. And then you realize time isn't real and everything's made up and everything's a construct. Yeah, but it's weird. I just can't believe it's gonna be 2021. It sounds like the future, like the far future.
Dude. It's so fucking weird. I mean,
do you have any New Year's resolutions, by the way?
The same ones as last year, which is very sad because it means I didn't achieve the ones from last year.
What were they?
It's just most typical shit. Just like get in shape, whatever, I guess this year maybe I want to set some kind of isn't New Year's resolution like a goal?
Yeah.
Like maybe some kind of goal for the podcast, but I
not
haven't really
even
thought
necessarily
about it.
a goal, but something that you like, a new hobby that you want to take up.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a goal. It's like a life change.
Yeah. Like I haven't really put too much thought into it, I guess. I haven't really put okay, from New Year's onwards, I'm going to do this. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll think of something. I think maybe something for the podcast or something I might come up with.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or but definitely the fitness thing. I mean,
I'm the same. I've gained so much weight this quarantine as well because we haven't been going anywhere. I've literally gained 20 pounds.
I had this weird thing recently where I gained a lot of weight for a while, and now I've lost 4 kilos over the last couple weeks. I
hate you so much.
But it's because I just have not been eating enough. Because it's fucking expensive. It's
true.
so, and it's so much fucking effort.
It's a very expensive time of year.
Yeah,
I remember when I was younger, I love Christmas. It's my favorite holiday. It's my favorite time of year. But when I was younger, it was special because you didn't have money worries. You didn't have to worry about getting anyone presents. All you worried about was waking up at in the morning, coming downstairs and opening all your presents and stuff. And now it's a bit more depressing, but I still love it. Like, I love waking up and seeing pictures of everyone with their families, or maybe not this year, yikes. And also just everyone, you know, reflecting on the year they've had and the highs and lows and stuff. I really look forward to it, but you know, it's definitely a more annoying time of year because of all the presents and the expenses.
Yeah.
So expensive.
I think also for me, it's just that like I'm sure also for you, the last few weeks have just been so stressful. I just have not been taking care of myself. I've just been working.
Yeah.
That's it. I've just been working on university and like trying to get through it. I haven't had like the energy to go to the grocery store until today, literally. Today was the first time where I felt like, yeah, I'm actually, you know, I feel good. I've been resting. I've just been playing games and chilling out for a while. I can actually go do something.
Yeah.
Just like the last few weeks, it's just been like, I don't have the energy to go to a grocery store, so I'm just going to order.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that, and it's not really like a sustainable thing because for me, I need to eat quite a lot, like just naturally by how I am.
Tall boy.
I need quite a bit of food, but the problem is that I literally could not find the energy or the willpower to go.
The motivation.
No, there was just no motivation because I would be working like a lot of times until 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. on work, and then I'll just wake up and the next day I have class. Yeah. And maybe I have like 2-3 hours of spare time in a day, but I'm not going to go fucking spend that going to a grocery store. I don't know.
I think that's very relatable for people in all sorts of fields, not even just for people in university, but a lot of companies have end of year deadlines that they have to meet. And I know for us, we had a lot of projects to do before Christmas so that the new year can be like a fresh start. And also buying presents. Oh my God, this year it felt so much harder because you couldn't just go into a shop.
Yeah, that's
all the shops are shut. So you have to order everything online and you don't know when it's going to come and it's just a pain. No,
it really has been a weird couple weeks. Like it's been a weird year, but these last few weeks especially have just been, oh man. Also with Christmas, like the weird thing is that because for the first time ever, I'm having to order presents to Malaysia for my mom, which is a real pain in the ass.
I do it to Canada, America every year.
Like, fuck, that's so weird. And like, yeah, it's kind of complicated to do. And it's just, I don't know, man. Like this, it's just been such a fucking nightmare the last couple of weeks. But here we are. And now finally, you know, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm feeling like a lot more like re-energized now that I can chill out. Yeah, me too. Man, the second that like university was done for the year, I felt so relieved.
So much relief.
Yeah, like, oh man, it was the best feeling ever that I could just kind of fucking chill out. But like for the first day, I think I told you this off air last week. Or like earlier this week. That like for the first day or two afterwards, I had this like post-university stress where I felt like I should be working on something even though I finished all my work.
Yeah.
So yeah, fuck. I'm just really glad it's over for now and I can just chill out a bit and catch my breath, I guess.
Yeah. But I mean, those were the lows, right? The highs. We started a freaking podcast.
I was literally about to ask you.
I'm gonna keep saying it because it's incredible. Also, I feel more confident in myself in general. I just feel a lot happier. I feel a lot more clarity in knowing what I'm doing rather than just kind of doing mundane things day to day. I've had to, since I don't leave the house, you have to find a reason to get up every day because it's so easy to just lay in bed.
No, it's so true. It really is true.
So now it's like I've got this newfound motivation that I find in myself and not from like external pressures. So that's really sick. And I just generally feel a lot happier, which is really nice.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, like if we're talking highlights of the year, for me, definitely starting the podcast was a big one. I mean, that really was and still is, obviously, because here we are, finale. Hello,
wah, wah.
We've done 15 episodes, which is crazy.
Yeah,
and each one's about an hour, so that's like 15 hours of content out there, which is kind of insane. And we've been so consistent with it. I guess,
except last week.
Yeah, I was about to say, except last week. All right, listen, okay, it was a stressful time.
You're a day late. It's okay.
That was my first time ever being a day late. And because we like both realized at the same time, because we were sitting here, what were we doing? Yeah, because Nico was going away, so we were hanging out, and we just sat here. We were like, oh, fuck, we were supposed to release an episode today.
You said it. You were like, oh, it's Sunday. And I was like, oh yeah, like Monday tomorrow, like completely just not on the same page. And you're like, no, the podcast is meant to come. It was meant to come out like 3 hours ago. And we were like, oh well, is it edited? And you were like, no,
it was not ready to go.
Yeah.
But you know, whatever. It was a one-time thing.
Yeah, whatever.
But I mean, in general, though, we've put so much work into this and so much time. I mean, if you just look at just recording time, that's 15 hours. You know, that's a lot of time to just be talking to you guys. You know? But the nice thing is that we love it. So
we love it.
So
yes,
yeah,
very nice. Yeah.
And I mean, outside of that, there's also like coming up with topics and like building the set every time. Like, fuck, how many like cumulative hours have we spent building the set?
Because
like getting everything ready.
Today, because we tried out new software, we were trying to find a new battery. It took us an hour and a half to get ready and set up, which is ridiculous. But usually it does take us like half an hour anyway. So already that's like
on a good day, it's about half an hour.
Yeah.
On a good day, it's about half an hour.
Yeah.
But like, days like today, it can take a wee bit longer, I would say. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, but that's just part of it, I guess. I mean, we've had plans that changed last minute a lot of the time as well. We've had ditched episodes. We've had really good episodes. You know, I mean, fuck. I guess that's having a podcast. It really has been such like an enlightening experience. Like a real motivating experience, because it's also really nice to be committed to doing something like this, you know, because a lot of the times for me personally, like I've started like projects like this and then I would do it for like a week or two and I'll just stop.
Yeah, you get burnt out.
Yeah. So it's like you just kind of like, you're like, whatever, I'll do whatever, you know, next week, and then you just never do it again.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
So it really has been great, honestly. And for me, that's one of the biggest positives out of 2020.
I have to ask you, what is the worst Christmas present you've ever received? Let's add some humor, you know? Spice.
Oh,
we've been very serious this episode so far, but that's because 2020 has been a very woohoo year, you know?
Oh, the worst present
Worst and best present.
Oh man, the worst. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah, okay.
Go on.
The worst present I received, it wasn't actually the present itself that was so bad. It's what happened to the present.
Oh no.
So I don't know how old I was
Why
anymore.
am I picturing a fire?
No, it wasn't a fire.
Okay.
So I mean, how old was I? I would have been like, fuck. And I hope I'm pretty sure I'm recalling this correctly, because it's a very vivid memory. But, you know, it was a long time ago, so maybe I'm recalling this incorrectly, but I remember I must have been about 8.
Gosh, yeah.
Maybe even younger than that I think about 8, 9, let's say. And no, definitely 8. And I had gotten this new bike for Christmas. It was walked straight through the door. It still had its training wheels on, because I couldn't cycle without training wheels at that time.
At 8 years old?
I could have even been younger than 8, honestly. I could have been 7 or something. I'm not sure. It was a very long time ago.
Yeah.
Like, it was, fuck. It could even have been 7. And it comes walking through the door. I remember it very clearly. It was this yellow and white bike.
Ooh.
I'm sure that's correct. Fuck. And it was this lovely bike. And my grandfather was walking into it. And here's the thing you gotta understand. My grandfather is was a 6'1" man. Maybe even a bit taller than 6'1.5", whatever. And he weighed 150 kilos. 160.
No.
He was huge. Maybe even heavier than that. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if he was heavier than that.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, I want to try out the bike."
Oh no.
And I see him take it outside. I couldn't bear to look, because he sits on it and it breaks instantly, obviously, and the whole bike.
Like the frame.
I think so. The whole thing just got fucked.
Oh my god.
And it turns out I didn't have a new bike anymore.
Oh.
like
that's a good gift though. I remember getting my first bike for Christmas.
It was a really nice gift. It's just that the fate of that bike was just doomed.
Yeah.
It was doomed. The sad thing is that I think he even got the bike. Was the sad thing.
Oh,
and he just
really
wanted to
annoying.
test it. It was just I like.
Did you get a new one, or
can't
was it like,
remember.
oh, that sucks?
I can't remember. I could just remember him bringing that thing out there, like you're bringing like an old diseased dog out to kill it or something after it's dying. He shoots it out there, and it just gets absolutely wrecked. I didn't see it get destroyed, but I knew. I knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I think it was a really nice gift, and I really hope I'm recalling this correctly because it sticks out in my memory so much.
Yeah.
My mom might listen to this and be like, "That never happened," but I swear it happened.
Yeah.
And it was just.
Yeah.
Oh man, it sticks out so vividly to me.
So funny.
I think that's a big one. I'm trying to think if there's like a second place.
I don't think I've ever received bad Christmas presents. I think in general my family's very good at presents. Other than a few relatives who just like don't know me as well and they kind of like send me like, especially
yeah, but that's to be expected.
I don't want to like call them out, but like, you know, some relatives that just don't know you as well and they get you presents and you're like, I don't know what you want me to do with this, like, but thank you. But
thank you, but
I think you had the wrong child, like, but I remember, I'm pretty sure there's one that my parents regret giving us. So, Peter, as you know, all I do is sing. I have to sing songs all the time. I'll say a phrase and then I have a song to go with it.
She's been, even just today, she's sung like 3 different Christmas related songs and 1 X Factor song as well, like a bad audition.
And so my parents, when I was about 6 or 7, they got us a karaoke machine. And boy, you better believe I used that shit to death. God. There was Blue Suede Shoes, I think by
Elvis.
By Elvis. It was my shit. All I would do is just sing and scream pretty much into the microphone all day. And it was in the living room, so everyone could hear it. It was very loud. And we had that for ages. And I loved that thing. I was like, hell yeah. Eventually, we had it for so long that the screen, like it was one of those old screens where it was like, you know, an old TV. But eventually the screen just like went really dull and grey. So you like couldn't even read the lyrics on it anymore. And I loved it. It was incredible. But imagine 6-year-old Jen. If you think I sing too much now, I sang far more then. And I was just like, into it 24 hours. I remember my dad was like, I think that's enough, Jennifer. And I was like, okay.
Oh, that's enough there, Jennifer. Oh, that's so brutal. Damn.
I know, but I didn't take it personally. I was just like, all right, fine, whatever. But I loved that shit.
Imagine if you took it personally.
I'm like, Dad, I'm going to go on X Factor.
Excuse me.
But there was another gift. I was kind of I went through a bratty stage, as most young kids do. I think I was about 4 at this point, bear in mind. And I was really into dress up, obviously, as most 4-year-old girls are. And my least favourite Disney princess was Snow White. I don't know why.
Favorite?
She was my least favourite.
What's
She
wrong
still
with her?
is, to be honest. I don't know. I think because she had like 7 dwarves and it was kind of a weird thing for me and it kind of freaked me out, I think. And so my mum got me like a Snow White costume and this is on video and I watch it like every couple of years and I just die at myself because you can tell I caught a catchphrase off TV and I like had just learnt it and I was like, I love this catchphrase. I hated Snow White, bear in mind. So I pick up the dress and I'm like, hey, what's the big idea?
Do you still have this clip?
It's on like a disc in my parents' house.
Yeah, because I was thinking if you had it, we could just like insert it here.
I would love to,
so
but it's literally back at home.
Oh, fair.
And I'm holding up the dress and then I throw it down and I kind of cross my arms and start sulking. And then my mum's like on the side and she's like, don't you like it, Jenny? Like, it's really nice. Santa got that for you. Father Christmas got that for you. And I was like, I don't like Snow White. And then I'm like sulking and I throw it away and I'm like, oh, I hate Snow White, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end, I don't know if your parents ever did the same, but my mum at the end of every Christmas after opening all the presents, she'd be like, what was your favourite present? And you'll never believe the present I picked as my favourite present.
It wasn't the Snow White one.
It was the Snow White dress.
Really?
I was like, this one. And I start moving it around because it's, you know, it's a cute little dress.
And so you actually did like it in the end.
I was a brat. What can I say? I could not even tell you what was going through my head. And we got some sick, like, toys. Like, my parents got us, like, like, you know, kids walkie-talkies, and I had many siblings. We'd be like all around the house like, can you hear me now, can you hear me now? Like, it's awesome. I loved Christmas as a kid.
I'm trying to think of what my all-time favorite present was. I mean, there are some good ones. I mean, the new camera is pretty cool, but
That's awesome.
But I mean, I can't really comment on whether it's my favorite because I haven't been able to use it yet.
Presents definitely change as you get older too, because what your favorite present as a kid is, like, mine was a Snow White dress, like, it's so easy. But now it's like, if I were to think of my favorite Christmas present recently, I think it was, or like in my older adult years, I think it was like my laptop. Because it's like, thank God, I need this for university. It's awesome.
And it's also just nice to have a laptop.
It's also like just practical presents. I love getting socks now as well. Can never have too many socks.
I agree. Man, fuck, it makes me feel fucking old, dude. Like, I agree. Like, socks and underwear, like, I used to think they were the lamest shit ever. Now I love it. Like, fuck it. Send me some socks and underwear, dude.
Yeah,
I'm down.
yeah.
Like, fuck.
So awesome.
Size 45, by the way, if you're... 46 actually works too.
Where are they
even up to 47.
Where are they going to send it to?
I don't know. To the Instagram.
Send it to one.
Send it to the Instagram.
Send it to 123 Netherlands Road, Netherlands. Thank you.
I'm not gonna dox myself here. I'm like revealing my address. But my favorite present, I think when I was a kid, I gotta think about that for a second. Oh, you know what I really loved? But the thing is, I would always just break them. And I actually can't remember if this was like a Christmas thing or like if this was more of like a birthday thing. I can't remember. But I would always get these like punching bags and stuff like that.
Because you were an aggressive child, as we've learned.
But the thing is that like I saw these punching bags as like a fight to the death. So like I would like tackle them to the ground and like and, like attack them and like just brutalize these things. Yeah. And they would always break. Fuck, I love them so much.
Yeah.
Oh.
I remember because me and Beth, my sister, are very close in age, so my mum would often get us like the same presents but different colours. And there are videos of like Beth opening a hairdryer and it's pink, and then I open it and like I had the screechiest voice. If you think my voice is jarring now, as a kid it was so much more high pitched. It was so like and so I'm like, Beth, we have the same present, but yours is pink and mine is purple. And it's like all on video. And I can't watch the videos anymore because my voice is so fucking jarring.
Well, I mean, I hope you do like her voice because...
I should hope so now.
This is a podcast.
I think I subconsciously lowered it as like I heard so many people growing up like be like, Jen, your voice is so annoying.
Oh, you mean oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's maybe like a subconscious thing, but it's also
Kids
probably just kind of, you know,
growing up
how
as
you
well.
talk. Yeah, it's kind of
I
just like
hit
a puberty thing. I hit puberty, bro. You know what's the weirdest thing? Like, you should, like, there's this video out there on YouTube with me talking when I was younger, kind of unrelated to the whole thing. And my voice was so deep.
Deep?
Yeah.
Did you opposite puberty?
I don't know.
Reverse puberty, not
I don't know.
opposite.
I mean, I guess so. Because now I feel like I've got a pretty normal, like, pitch voice. Like, I don't think I have a high-pitched voice, but I don't have a super deep voice.
I think it's relatively low.
Maybe, like, leaning towards, like, a deeper voice, but it's not like a deep voice like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a mildly deep voice, I guess. But back then, I don't know what happened, but I think also maybe for, like, the video, I also made it deeper to sound like I wasn't, like, a kid. You know what I mean? I was, like, 12.
I'm a man.
But like, well, like, if you were to hear it, you'd be like, this guy's, like, 17, 18. Fucking 12 years old, dude.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, weird times.
Fuck. Are you good at gift giving?
I would say so. Yeah, I think I'm pretty good. I think I'm very... I mean, the thing is, it depends. This year is a bit of an off year for me.
Me too.
You know?
Well, actually, no.
And the thing is that I wanted... I was pretty good. No, but the thing is, I wanted to... The thing with Nicole is that, like the person I give gifts to right now is Nicole, my mom. But my mom isn't here, so I could only send her gifts from Malaysia, which is kind of a complicated process in of itself. And Nicole has gone off to England. So the plan originally was I was going to get her 2 batches of different gifts. The first one was for Sinterklaas, which I already got her, thankfully. And she already has those and open them.
Sinterklaas is like Dutch
Sinterklaas,
Christmas, essentially.
Okay. People will get offended by that, I think.
Well, deal with it.
Yeah, kind of. Close enough.
It's essentially that. I mean, there are obviously differences, but that's essentially the vibe.
It's close enough. Then I also wanted to get her Christmas presents. I wanted to do both and have like 2 different things. So I only really gave her half the presents, which is kind of sad.
Womp womp.
But I would think, generally speaking, I'm pretty good, yeah.
I think I'm quite good at making them personal. Usually I sort of come up with the ideas for... Because me, Corey, and Beth usually give presents together at this point, especially when we're sending them to America, because it can get really expensive with shipping. So I'm like, so my dad has this story where we were walking along the sea or something, and he was like, you know, I think I was a fish in my past life. I just feel so relaxed by the sea. And my mum was like, would you not be like a captain on a boat or something? Like, why are you a fish? And he's like, oh yeah, maybe that too. So then it became like a family joke that he was like a fish in his past life. And my dad recently got into drinking red wine, and so I got a bottle opener that had a fish on it, and like Nigel in a past life, which I think is quite cute.
So you give like 500 IQ gifts.
Oh, well, if you say so.
Well, you say so, mate. Oh, whoops. I bumped it with my knee, sorry. But what was I going to say? Recovering. Yes. Didn't you say that you thought you were a bird in your past life or something like that? Like you said that you thought that you were some kind of animal. I remember.
I wanted to be a butterfly.
It was a
as
butterfly.
a job.
It was a butterfly. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And they were like, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I wanted to be a butterfly. Yeah. That was last week's episode, I'm pretty sure.
It sure was.
Dude, for those of you watching on the YouTube video, you must have seen that. I straight up reached for this empty can over here. I'm building like a tower over here out of Heineken cans. I just reached across and I grabbed it, and I was like, wait, no. I'm sure someone must have seen it being like, what the fuck is he doing?
You okay, hon?
He's like, you okay, hon? You reaching for that?
But yeah, I'm quite good at gift giving. I don't like giving or receiving gifts. I hate it. I like when I have a good idea, but I hate receiving gifts because, you know, even if you like the gift, I'm always like, oh, I love it. And for some reason, I tend to overemphasize how much I love it, even if it's like socks, where it's like, instead of being like, oh, thanks, thanks, that's really thoughtful. I'm like, oh, I love it. And then it sounds really fake, and I never know how to do it properly.
It is kind of an awkward
and I hate giving them. Like, I mean, it's fine when I can send them to my parents because I don't see their reaction. But you know, have you ever like given a present to someone? You're like looking for their reaction, like, oh, do you like it? Do you like it? And then they're just kind of giving you nothing, and you're like, they hate it, or they're like, wow, I really love it, and you can't tell if they're like overdoing it because they hate it, or if they're overdoing it because they're like me.
It's true.
I hate
like,
it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think gift giving is a very awkward process indeed.
I don't give presents to any of my friends because of it, because I don't like receiving, I don't like giving.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I'm like, we're not doing presents. And as soon as someone's like, oh no, I'll get you something, I don't mind if you don't get me something, I'm like, fuck you, because now I do have to get you a present.
Yeah, now there's the moral obligation.
Exactly. And I'm like, don't put me in that position. I'm not going to get you anything. Don't get me anything. Like, I hate it.
Opinionated.
I feel very strongly about this because I hate it.
You're obviously very passionate about it. My God.
I thought about it so much because then later you have to top it as well.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's how I feel this year.
And then when do you stop giving someone gifts? When do you stop?
I don't.
It's like it's so much
too
pressure.
philosophical, man. I don't know. I mean, I just give gifts. I don't think about it this far.
I don't know. I think, I don't know. I mean, pretty much right now I get gifts from my parents and my nieces. But like nice. Siblings, we don't do anything because, I mean, we're siblings. It's whatever. And like my parents, yeah, because they give us presents as well. So it just like makes sense. Yeah,
I haven't spent a Christmas with my brother in 2 years, which is crazy. Because it doesn't feel like it's been 2 years, but it's been so. I mean, I haven't seen him in 2 years even, which is
my older
really
brother.
Weird.
My oldest brother Kane. I haven't spent a Christmas with him since I was about 5 or 6 years old.
Wow, that's also crazy.
That's a long time. I'm now 22 years old.
Oh, I thought you were 6.
I'm 10.
No,
I'm 10. It's only been 4 years. Yeah.
But I've got to say, I think Christmas is one of my favorite times of the year.
It's the most wonderful time.
There's just something about it. And I'm sure that a lot of it has to do with the media. Like, you know, instilling that kind of Christmas,
that family warmth. Yeah.
That like comforting vibe. I'm sure it has to do with that, but I mean,
also, everyone's off work. You know, it's time for giving, getting drunk, being festive. It's a really nice time of year. I love it. It's my favorite.
I don't know. The other thing is that I also grew up in countries that had no snow at all, like nothing cold. And now I'm here and it's cold and I can be like nice and warm in my like room or whatever and like a blanket. I don't know. I just love it. I love the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I gotta say, I spent one Christmas in California and it was like 18 degrees. California. It was like 18 degrees and it did not feel like Christmas because it's so warm. And you're just like, there's a tree here, a pine tree in summer. Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I like Malaysia was always just like, it's Christmas, but like, you know, it's the same temperature as always. It's like 30, 40 degrees or whatever, you know what I mean? It's the same shit as always. Here it's like you can feel winter arriving. You know what I mean? I love it. I really hope it snows this year. I don't know if it will. I in fact don't know if we're ever going to get snow in the Netherlands again. Which is a really scary thought. No,
at
but
least
it's
not while I'm here. Oh, because of global warming.
Yeah, I think that's really scary. Because remember, like when we first got here, 2017.
Yeah, I got concussed.
Got
concussed. I turned around a corner on my bike and it was like black ice, and I slid into a pole and I slammed my head, and I was like, I hate the snow so much.
But it was like so. Like that one year, it snowed like crazy, really.
It did, yeah.
It was pretty crazy.
2017.
And that was my first snow experience ever.
That's insane.
My first real snow experience, you know. At that stage, I was 18 years old.
I've had snow pretty much every Christmas my whole life.
And like, I'm glad that I've experienced it, but like since then, it just hasn't been quite that much. I think 2018 also had some decent snow, but last year, nothing. This year so far, nothing. You know, and it is kind of scary to think that, you know, what if in future Christmases there is no snow?
Ever.
Fuck. Ever. And the thing is, it's not even that impossible, which is kind of crazy. It's a little bit...
Oh,
it's a little bit depressing.
I don't like snow anyway,
so
I'm not bothered.
I love the snow. But then again, for me, it's something new. It's like, you know, for you, it's just like an annoyance, I guess. I don't know.
God, I hate it. Grew up in Canada. 8 years I lived there with heavy snow, -40 winters. I don't miss it at all.
Yeah, I guess if I really want to see snow so bad, I can just fuck off to Canada, I suppose.
Yeah, if you wanna.
I could just fuck off to Canada. Almost did as well.
You can take my passport. See ya. I mean, it wouldn't work.
Gladly,
but, you know.
fuck. I mean, yeah, South African passport sucks. But yeah, I mean, what are your overall thoughts on 2020?
2020, I think, while difficult, I think very necessary for personal growth.
I could not agree more, yeah. I think I would say something very similar. Just, it's been a rough year, for sure, for everybody, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anyone, unless you work in, like, the pharmaceutical business, and you're probably doing pretty good, as you always are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's been rough for everyone, but I think speaking from us here at This Could Be a Podcast team, you know, it's been a great year. And we're really excited for next year, for sure.
Excited for season 2 coming in the beginning of January, hopefully, to you.
With hopefully some significant upgrades to the video, maybe even to the audio. We'll see. We'll have to see. We still have to fiddle around with, you know, the new 2-mic setup. It's still a work in progress. We're still learning here, guys. I mean, you know, the show is a show of personal growth as well, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy, you know, just to end it, I guess. I was thinking about the other day about how we could look back at this podcast like a year from now and be like, fuck. It's like a time capsule in a way, right?
Yeah.
You can like look back and see how we were back then, what we looked like, you know, what we were doing.
I mean, even when we started, I had blonde hair and now I have brown hair.
Yeah.
You know, just shit like that. Just tiny little details that change.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really curious to see, you know, a year from now as well, assuming we're still doing the podcast, which I'm sure we will.
Yeah,
to see where we are.
Yeah, but
we hope that you'll be there too.
Please do. Please join us.
Please join us. This was a more somber episode than I expected, but it was I don't know. I think it's a fitting end to 2020.
Relaxing, you know.
It was a chilled out, kind of relaxed, reflective episode, I would say.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for joining us. if you liked what you saw and heard, consider sending us a message and let us know how we're doing. Share it with your friends. And hopefully we will see you in 2021.
Yeah.
Have a lovely Christmas.
Kind of miracle. Well,
Yeah.
not miracle, anti-miracle, I guess. Disaster. But it's all stuff.
Have a lovely Christmas and New Year's. And we'll see you in 2021.
Yeah, we'll see you 2021. Not next week. Weird. Bye.
Bye.